Well, we thought it might be timely to pop out and have a look at this fridge beehive that we've created. Our top bar hive in a fridge. I tell you what, it's been an adventure and it's caused a little bit of excitement in the bee world. So, well, let's pop our head in here and have a look. If I was to have any critique when I make my next one, I reckon I'll make my entrance at the front a little bit different. I mean, I had to do that because I was trying to get through the layers of foam and the whole thing, but I reckon I would make a smaller entrance part for the bees, but a bigger opening inside the hive, so as they could protect the hive, but it would make them easier to get in and out. Having said that, they seem to have gone quite well here. These girls are a little swarm that we popped in here, so shall we lift our door up and we'll have a bit of a look and see what the ladies are doing. Crikey, I even left the crisper in. Just be careful as you lower that over, you don't let it go whoosh on the hinge. So in this model, we actually made a box inside the fridge because I thought rather than making frames the precise size of the fridge, I was trying to keep them uniformed. I mean, you could make your own frames so as that you don't actually have to have a uniformed setup, but I was trying to have frames that I could interchange in case I wanted to do a split from my fancy fridge hive. I also made a cover board so as that they wouldn't build inside the lid and do all sorts of stuff that bees would do. If we didn't have this board on here, all of this lid would be full of honey and honeycomb, and they probably would have even found a hole in my crisper and made something in that. So we'll see if we can pull that off if I'm lucky. Oh! We'll just give them a little bit of smoke under there just to keep them happy, and we'll poke our head in there and see what's going on. And they're all just at one end. Don't think they're happy to see us. Now this isn't a very big swarm that's gone in here, so we'll just see how the girls are laying. If I can pick up my hive tool. As you can see, I've made a box inside my box. Just get this out the way. Let's see where we are. Where are we up to, chicks? What you doing, ladies? Are you in the corner? You're hiding in the corner. Oh, there's typical. They're making a bit of cross comb. Or at least they're laying some. They got some brood in here. Look at that. There's quite a few little bees just getting their head out. They're just eating their way out of their little combs. A couple here. We've tried to film this once before when we were waiting for a bee to get born, and we were there for a couple of hours until eventually it popped its head out. That's kind of cool when you see them just all hatching out together. And so hopefully they'll actually all pop out and get to the work. But it's a very small little nest. Let's have a look what else we've got going on here. They're not the most energetic mob that I've ever seen, but still, they're in here. Looks like they're finding a little bit of nectar on the side here, which is a good sign. So something must be flowering around here. I wonder where the boss woman is. Where are you, chickie babe? Are you here hiding in this menagerie of excitement? At least they're pretty friendly. I put my gloves on because I wasn't sure how crazy they would be, but they're not actually getting excited at all. And we just might as well, since we're here, we'll have a bit of a look at all the frames, make sure we haven't got any badness happening. They look pretty good so far. They're not really big bees, but that's all right. I can't see. I'll just keep going and we'll see if we can't find the queen. If we happen to find her, we'll show you, but if we don't, well, you know, she's in the queen's chamber eating bread and honey or something. Isn't that how that story goes? Hang on, that's a different show. Hopefully we'll get another one of those episodes up for you soon. Oh, there she is. Look at that. Yeah, she looks nice. She looks like she's not too old. A bit older. She's got a shiny back, so she's got a bit of age on her, but she looks all right. Something different. Bit of a different colourway. I remember it's interesting when you first start reading about bees and you read all the literature and everybody says that the queen bee is the biggest bee in the hive, but then you see a drone bee for the first time and you go, whoa, shit. And then you think, hell, there's 20 queens in there, but they're all the boy bees. Because she's actually is, technically I think what should be said is the queen bee has got the longest abdomen in the hive, or she's the longest bee in the hive. I mean, she is a different format, but she, you know, until your eyes get used to it, she doesn't actually stand out as easily as you would originally think. She's technically not massively bigger than her mates, you know, or other lady friends that are in the hive, but she's definitely longer. And she can't fly, which is an advantage, otherwise she'd bugger off and that would be a real blowing shit show, wouldn't it? But so just keep that in mind when you're looking at your queen bee, looking for your queen bee. Yes, she is the biggest bee, but she's technically the biggest bee because she's the longest bee. But that's a trick for young players, or whatever the saying is. Something like that. they look healthy enough. We might actually bring her out some food and sort of ramp them up a little bit. Maybe I'll make them up a little bit of sugar, because they're not really rocking off their asses, so they're not getting too excited. They got nectar on that frame as well, so which is good. I would say all in all they look pretty good, considering. I mean, like, they're not a massive big hive, but that's all right. They got plenty of room to expand. It's interesting because we're just sort of coming into winter. Our friends in America that are on the other side of the world, well, they're just coming out of winter. So it's an interesting thing, beekeeping, when you're, especially on the internet, trying to keep up with what part of the time of the year everybody's in. Because I was watching a thing on there, the boys are all trying to move the bees to the almond pollination. And then I'm just in the middle of trying to harvest the jolly almond. So, yeah, anyway. That's one good thing about being a global economy, isn't it? We can all sort of know what's going on around the whole planet. Whereas once upon a time we had to send a letter and it would take, 6 months to get to the other end. Well, I reckon that's pretty cool. I tell you what, I would have never dreamt that this Winter Prime project that we made for the show would have spawned such enthusiasm. We have a fan in England whose name, I think his name's, I'm pretty sure, in England, Steve, the bloody fridge beehive builder. So if you want to have a look on the internet and just put in fridge hives, hopefully you'll pop up. Or if we get really motivated and I talk to the director, maybe we could put a link down here in the bottom of the description, and you can click on his page and give him a thumbs up. And he's progressed and done a whole lot of really cool builds and different things, and he's got, hell, I reckon the other day I saw he had some camouflage on his beehive, so it looked really cool. And he was around collecting hives from different people around the countryside, and I think he was even making them for other people now, so that's pretty cool. So why don't you hit him up and have a look at what he's up to, and he'll give you some ideas that have advanced along far beyond where we started. Of course, we're always here on the Bush Bee Man Show. We're always looking for something different to do in the winter time when things are quiet. So I'm wondering whether or not we could turn this into, I think they're called Salvalian hives, which is in Eastern Europe there somewhere, where they have the hives on a vertical situation, and they have them in trailers and trucks and cool shit like that. I was thinking, I wonder if this would be a cool idea. We might make an upright hive. But hell, if a bloke doesn't get around to it, don't beat me up too harshly. Well, thanks for joining us and being patient as we've had a little bit of interaction and things going on in this crazy world we live in. Don't forget to head over and hit us up on the Patreon support page. Check out my wife's bloomin' internet shop, because she's got all sorts of cool stuff on there. Grab yourself some shaving cream, because I tell you what, apparently all the reviews are saying it's amazing. I love it. I've got it in my bloomin' wet area, and a little bit of wet shaving goes a long way. Gives you a nice little finish, and you even smell pretty.